I'd like to talk about silent grief. But before we jump into that, I would like to say hello. My name is Ghazala. I'm at the Heart and Soul Cafe. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're here for the first time, then you're more than welcome. Pull up a chair and let's have a talk. All right? So silent grief. I'd like to split those. I'd like to look at those two words separately first of all. Okay, so grief. What's grief? Well, grief is a natural response to the loss of something or someone, or the coming to the end of something. All right, so it could be the loss of a loved one, it could be the loss of a pet, it could be losing your job, it could be coming to the end of your working life, so retirement. It could be divorce or separation or the end of a friendship, perhaps. There's lots and lots of things that could lead you to experiencing symptoms of grief. Okay. And silent grief, then, what's that? Well, silent grief is when someone is feeling pain privately, internally, inwardly, and not expressing that pain in any way outwardly, publicly, openly. Mm-hmm. So silent grief is something that we see more in men than in women. And I'll get onto that in a minute, but I would like to say that I have experienced, and I do experience silent grief in some situations. So I'd like to share that with you. And the times when I experience silent grief is if either I'm around people that I feel they would not understand what I am feeling or experiencing, and that's my take on it, and I might be wrong, but it's how I feel, or that I feel that they just wouldn't be accommodating in any way. There just wouldn't be any space for that, for me to express or explain how I'm feeling, or share my feelings, or or I'm in a situation where I have already explained and already talked about my grief, my loss, my story, and I feel that because I've already been there, I don't want to sort of revisit for whatever reason. Either, it's an evening where we're all, it's supposed to be an enjoyable time, and I don't want to make it about me. I don't want to have it, 4 hours of, Ghazala's counselling session. I don't want that. So it becomes, and if I'm still struggling with what I'm feeling and I'm hurting, then it's very much silently expressed, silently felt. It's not expressed in any way, openly and outwardly. All right. So that's really the situations where I would feel or experience silent grief. Now back to men. So why do I feel that men experience silent grief more than women? Well, it really comes back to all the mental health around men that we have, that we know about, and the language. So what kind of language have we been using around men for years and years and years? Things such as, men don't cry, big girl's blouse, stop crying like a sissy, man up, soldier on, the macho man type of thing. And that kind of language that we've been using for years, we're paying the price for now, because we see it in men's, mental health. We see it in suicidality around men. There's 3 times more, men are going to take their own life 3 times more than women do. So it's something that is really, there, and we're definitely paying the price for that. So how do we then help people when they are experiencing silent grief? How are we going to help them process their emotions and, deal with those emotions? Well, we could think about things such as journaling. Again, journaling is something that is proved really to be a benefit, to a lot of people. And it's a way of expressing, putting down onto paper what you are feeling up here and, and in your heart as well. So it's a way of dealing with pain, with emotions, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and you're actually putting it down on paper. If you find it difficult to sort of speak about it, then you can possibly write it down. That might be something that can help some people. Expressing emotions through art is something that we see again and again as well as being quite beneficial. And that might be whatever your go-to is. So it could be, if you're into music, it might be playing an instrument, it might be writing music, it might be, doing the more conventional, more popular types of art, which is drawing and painting. Possibly it could be arts and crafts, it could be, making things from nothing. It might be woodwork, it might be metalwork, it might be making, pieces of furniture perhaps. Or it could be gardening, it could be, working on a patch in the garden and creating something out of nothing. And that might be, a cathartic exercise which helps you, deal with those emotions. When it comes to men also, sports is something that we sort of see where people can express their emotions. So it might be competitive sport where, people are able to shout and scream and, show their emotions. If you look at football, football will be the only, and probably rugby as well, but mainly football would be the only time, it's acceptable to see men hugging each other that way and kissing each other and jumping on each other and jumping on each other's back. And it's, you wouldn't see it, you wouldn't really see it anywhere else. And it's acceptable to see, men behaving that way. But then if you really look at it deeply, well, it's quite good, I would say, for men to be able to express their emotions that way. Because it's, and it's acceptable because it's not really acceptable in any other way. And in some cultures, obviously, you see men hugging and you see men kissing, or you see men walking along the street holding hands even, and you don't think anything of it, and you don't think that they're homosexual. You would say, they might be heterosexual, but that's a behavior that is practiced in certain cultures. So there's certain things in certain situations where people can express their emotions, and that's acceptable. If we talk more about if it was more of a professional approach, then something like counselling is possibly useful because we're talking about the confidentiality of that. Because when things are on a professional level, like talking therapy, perhaps, they have to practice confidentiality, and that way that person could feel quite confident and comfortable that this information that I'm sharing with this person isn't going to, get out into public, or no one else is going to see this except, no one's going to know about it except myself and my therapist. And there's other things, the practices, such as, CBT, EMDR, depending on what that person is experiencing and what kind of, grief that person is experiencing, would depend on what kind of therapy direction that, you would go in. So there is things that can be put into place, ourselves, things that you could suggest to somebody who you know and feel is, practicing silent grief. And you could maybe point them, signpost them in a direction that you feel would possibly help them and would be beneficial, for them and for their emotions and for their, for their mental health, actually. So yes, I hope some of this information in this video has been of help to you, of some use. or to, if you feel that there's someone that you know who is experiencing silent grief, and you could share this video with them and the contents of this video, that would be great to know. Otherwise, please do share and like and subscribe and comment, and let's build a community together where we can talk about things that we need to talk about, where we're not, people aren't raising their eyebrows or rolling their eyes at us, here they go again, where it's, where we sort of find our people, and I think that's important. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, please take care of your hearts and souls. Thank you.